So, what is branding and why is it so important for your business? Branding goes way beyond just a logo or a graphic element. It is critical to be aware of your brand experience and have a plan to create the brand experience that you want to have. A good brand doesn't just happen. It's a well thought and a strategic plan. Many small organizations and startups neglect to spend necessary time thinking about their brand in this broad sense and the impact it has on their business. Hey people, how's it going? Welcome to the Marketing Manifest podcast. This is Emil Eji, your host. Today's topic is all about how important it is to invest into branding in the digital age. In this episode, we have Shashwat Das, who's a brand strategy expert, design thinker, and a creative strategist with over 10 years of experience. He built his first startup, Wow Designs, back in 2010 and took it from zero to become one of the top design agencies in India. He then later founded Almond Branding in 2017, which is an award-winning brand and design agency that has been working with the leading FMCG companies like Tata, ITC, Amul, Parle, Kellogg's, Dabur, etc. Shashwat has worked with established brands as well as startups across markets, and he has an end-reaching experience of creating brands, leading teams, and growing businesses. He has helped companies in launching new brands, revamping brands, finding categories, and achieving business growth. If you are looking to launch a new brand and or take your existing brand to the next level, Shashwat is your go-to person. Let us hear it from the man himself. I welcome Shashwat to the Marketing Manifest show. Hey, how's it going?
Good. Thank you so much, Emil, for that warm welcome. And I'm so much excited to be on your show.
I'm excited as well. This is the first time I'm bringing in a person who's into branding and all this stuff. And almost you are the owner of a company, so I'm really excited to know a lot of things from you.
Yeah.
Awesome. Let's get into the show. So, how would you define branding? Of course, there are a lot of definitions for it, but how would you structure branding as?
Okay. As you rightly said, there are a lot of definitions that are there. Some define branding as a way to establish the image of a company. Mm-hmm. Some would say it's a promotion technique of a particular product or the company by means of advertising or a distinctive design. Okay. But the way or the definition that I like the most is which states branding is a marketing practice. So first of all, it frames it within the purview of marketing. Mm-hmm. So it's a marketing practice that would create a name or a symbol or design or anything for that matter, which would make it identifiable with that company. So basically, branding will help you to identify that product, okay, and distinguish it from other products and services. Okay. Awesome. So I will give you an example.
Sure.
Like if I'm driving on the highway and I see those golden arcs, the big yellow M, I know McDonald's is ahead, right? The way the Apple logo lights up, the back of my MacBook, branding. And it's not about only logos per se. If I see a chocolate bar which is purple in color, I know which company, or which brand we are talking about.
Yeah.
You hear the thing, ting, 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 and which company and brand again. That's sonic branding.
Yes.
So that's how, branding helps you distinguish and recall and identify a product.
Awesome. That was amazing. So do you think emerging companies in 2020 should focus on their brand building? And if yes, why would you think it is so important?
Okay, so I would say branding is all the more important in today's age.
Obviously, because without branding, you cannot show yourself unique in the current market. So yeah, branding is absolutely and very important stuff. So how would you see from your point of view?
Yeah, so see, as I said, branding would make you distinguish, right? It would make a memorable impression on your consumer.
Yeah.
Okay. It allows your consumer to know what to expect from the brand or from the company, right?
Yeah.
You are able, through branding, you are able to clarify what are you offering, what makes you the better choice.
Yes.
Okay. How you wish to be perceived, right? And a good branding would make a positive impression to the company,
Right.
and then that would lead to more having more trust. That would lead to people talking about your brand, maybe recommending it to others. That would lead to more consumers, increasing brand value, and that all leads to business success, right?
Yeah.
So branding would help you, stand out from competition. It would create a consistent brand experience, right? And spark that connection. Okay.
Got
So
it.
if I have to tell you in today's world, why branding is important. So branding, as I said, has different facets to it, right?
Yeah.
If you're a strongly branded company, okay, and it's not only about your external consumers, also about employees, right? So if you're a strongly branded company and the employee feels more satisfied with their job,
Exactly.
they have a high degree of pride in working at your place, and that makes it the most enjoyable place to work. So that's internal branding, as we say.
Okay.
I mean, who would like, if you get an offer from Google to work at Google, who would reject that, right?
Obviously, even I wouldn't reject if I get an offer from Google directly.
Exactly. And see, similarly, personal branding, for that matter, it gives you an impression of being an industry expert.
Yeah.
People feel that, okay, they can trust your advice and guidance. So, so all these facets of branding becoming all the more and more important in today's world.
Okay, awesome. So I just wanted to ask you, so you mentioned about McDonald's, right? So let's say now we have a very brand new FMCG companies who's coming into the market, and they want to launch their new product in the upcoming month. So how would you help them build the branding and the design strategy? So I mean, just curious how a branding agency works. So just give me can you just brief me about that, how a branding agency works in terms of all these criteria?
Okay, so I would say it's a lot of fun out here. We do a lot of creative brain churning and all. And I would invite you, Emil, sometime visit us after the lockdown is over.
That would be great. Thank you for the offer.
Love you to be a part of some of our brainstorming sessions.
I would love to do that, Shashwat. Thank you so much for that. Yeah.
So, the way we look at branding or design strategy is, it is a part, or it leads from, or it starts from business strategy. That's where we start from.
Okay.
Business strategy, we first, because we probe people, whenever we are working on a brand, we first probe people as to what is their vision about the business, where do they want to take it, okay? And what, why, there has to be a why about, why we are getting into a branding exercise, right? So from business strategy, we funnel it down to brand strategy, and that leads to design strategy. So it is all tied together. You cannot just start working on branding just out of blue. Yeah.
Okay.
So what we do is we start with what we call a strategic brand foundation, where we define the brand, the TG, their motivations, why they buy something. Okay. Then we look at trends, consumption patterns, what is working, for competitors, what's not working, things like that. We define the entire brand world per se. Okay. Then we get on to, so like you say, so this is a new FMCG company. It would need a name, right? A kick-ass name.
Absolutely, yeah.
We have a proprietary process to come up, with names that are trademarkable, that are extendable, that people would fall in love with, right? Now, after the brand name is in place, then we get on to the logo identity, as you would see, or a brand identity system, because it's not only a logo, as I say, there is an entire design language that works around it, right? There's color, there's typography, there's iconography, shapes, forms, etc. that will define your brand.
Wow.
Okay. And then if it's an FMCG company, then there is packaging design, which becomes the front fascia. So, and we call it packvertising, right? You're not always advertising, but your packaging is doing the advertising. And, followed by retail visibility solutions. So that's the entire journey I would take, this new FMCG company to.
Wow. That's like a very big process. But when you said it, I kind of understand how big the entire process is structured, like right from the start till the end product. It's like obviously it's a really a big process. This is amazing.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We go right from the germination of the seed to the launch of the brand.
I understand. Awesome.
Consistently telling the brand story.
Awesome. I mean, absolutely. Like this is a very crucial place where this only helps the brand to. I mean, when they go out in the market, this is the brand design and all the stuff only helps them like get in more sales, seeing the design of the package and all the stuff. So yeah, brand strategies. I mean, design and brand strategies is an absolutely important stuff for every brand that is coming out. So can you relate me with two situations where you had a very tough time in deciding the brand strategy, design and all the stuff. So maybe you could relate to any of your two case studies where you worked a lot and the output was amazing. So the audience would love to know about it, and this might help them to understand how to tackle these kinds of situations.
Okay, so we work with both kind of brands, both established brands as well as upcoming startups. Okay. So I will tell you about two of these brands.
Okay.
I won't say that it was particularly difficult to get at the brand strategy, because that's our day in day out. That's what we do. But I would say they are challenging. Now, why they are challenging? The first one I will talk about is Parle's Kacha Mango Bite.
Okay, that's my favorite. That's my favorite chocolate when I was studying. Doing my schooling. There was a shop right outside the school, and we used to go and buy a lot of Kacha Mango Bite and store it in our bag and eat whenever we want during class times and all that stuff.
Great, yeah. So it's India's most loved raw mango brand.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And it has been leading Parle's confectionery agenda for so many years, right?
Okay.
What happens? Yeah. So what happens is, over the years, there's this competition that comes up, right? There's Pulse, which is an case study in itself, and there are many more which followed soon. That's the time when a market leader would like to re-energize, to push boundaries again, and maybe drive future success, right? So how do you do such a branding? It's an iconic brand, okay, and we have all spent our childhood, we have grown with it.
Exactly.
Now, when you are changing such a brand, the decision comes in how much of a change should happen, so that you don't alienate your loyal consumers. At the same time, you need to be up that threshold mark that you are communicating that, hey, I'm the market leader. This is how things should move, and this is how my attitude is.
Okay.
So that's where we do, in such a case where there's an iconic brand. Okay. So what we did was we delved into the semiotics of raw mango.
Okay.
And saw what are the various shades maybe that goes well with it, and we added particular shades into the design language.
Awesome.
Then we researched as to how do you call it out. So while it's called Kacha Mango Bite, okay, and the older branding used to write Kacha small and Mango Bite as big. We changed the messaging hierarchy a little. Like you see Kacha Mango, that's how people call it.
Yeah, right.
Kacha Mango, it has now gone bigger, bolder. It kind of flaunts a kind of a bold, authoritative attitude. Okay, and when you see the new branding and packaging, you will get that. Oh, okay. So this is coming from the market leader, as well as this is a modern brand talking to me as well. So it's relevant to today's consumers as well.
Awesome.
Okay, that was Parle Kacha Mango Bite.
Okay, awesome.
Okay. So the second example that I would like to talk about is a startup which goes by the name of Cruzante, which is first of its kind wine in India derived from real fruits. Okay. When we talk about wine, we usually think that it's derived from grapes, but just imagine wines derived from mango, chiku, strawberry. Sour fruit. Yeah, that's the concept.
That's interesting.
Okay. Yeah. So, the challenge in these kind of branding projects is that the startup might have come up with an excellent and an awesome product, right? It's a totally unique product.
Yeah.
But then the branding has to do justice so that uniqueness is communicated to the consumer. Otherwise, there is no pickup, right?
Okay.
You might be a unique product, nobody knows, and why should I pick you up?
Exactly.
That's exactly what we had to do for Pruzante. Okay. So, so since it was very unique, a clear brand positioning was the need of the hour, right?
Okay.
So, what we did was the confusion was, is Pruzante a fruit wine, like a fruit flavored wine? No. Is it like a fruit beer? No, again. The process of creating a beer and a wine is very different.
Yeah, it's different.
Is it like any other non-alcoholic fruit beverage that you guys get now? No, again.
Okay.
So how do you define? So what is Pruzante? So the answer has to be a one-liner, right? And we defined it as sparkling alcoholic beverage, right?
Okay.
And so that is what it defines it.
Okay.
But then what is the uniqueness? That it's derived from fruits. So we had, the entire design language was built in a way that it reflected that it's 100% fruit produce, and it's first time in India. There's no other product that is available in India.
So this exactly was the USP of that particular product.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah. So the USP had to be communicated that way to the consumer. We also kept the beer-like amber bottle so as to keep the casual, easy drinking style that that we wanted the association to be, and hence again a differentiation from the other wine drinking ceremonies that we have.
Okay.
So yes, this is another branding project which we thought was challenging, and we cracked it well, and it's doing really nice in the market.
Great. That's an amazing thing what we came to know, because like most of the agencies what they work, being an user, we actually being a consumer, we actually don't know how things have been built and how this brand has been like as you said, right? Like each and every element is a very important part when it comes to branding and design strategy.
Yes.
So my next question is, what are the 3 key benefits you bring to your customer in your agency? Like, what is your USP on that?
Okay, that's a great question. How, what's our USP then?
Yes.
Okay, so if I have to ask you, ML, what comes into your mind when you hear the word almond? So almonds, what comes into your mind?
Almond is a very good dry fruit. It has a lot of proteins and vitamins and all those stuff. So this
Exactly.
is what the first thing comes into mind. Is it? These are the things which comes first to my mind.
Yeah, is the nourishment that
Yes.
it might provide. So exactly. So we are all about brand nourishment. Okay.
Awesome.
So when we say nourishment, be it any brand, if it's an established brand or if it's a startup, they require nourishment at different stages of their brand life cycle.
Got it.
Okay?
Got it.
So if you're germinating, if you're a startup, right from the start, the seed needs a kind of nourishment. That's what we provide. And then when the brand is growing, or if it's a full-fledged tree and yet newer branches have to come in,
Exactly.
so you have to launch a new brand or an extension. Again, nourishment is required.
Yes.
That's what our first offering is. So that's brand nourishment.
Okay.
Talking about startups, that's another USP that we have. That we are very startup friendly.
Okay.
We are very agile that way. We are very flexible with the needs of the startups. Okay. We understand that startups might not always require a full course meal, right? They might require
Exactly.
2 or 3 products, and we have very startup friendly packages. Built for them. That is the second thing. Third thing that I would like to talk about is we offer intelligent design, or short form we call it ID. So we create a unique ID for each brand, right? And why intelligent design? Because the design as we see it's not only necessary to be aesthetically good, but it has to work well in the market. It has to do a business sense. That's what we call intelligent design. So I think these are the 3 benefits of
that's really amazing, because as far as I know, audience is listening to this podcast right now. Maybe there could be an entrepreneur who's looking for a brand designing agency. Maybe he could, listening to whatever you said, these are like 3 interesting points which I got to know today. So these are like really good points. Like maybe you could get a client, who's listening to this podcast right now.
Sure, would love to have.
Awesome. So, what would you like to give the audience as a piece of advice, or like, could you share some points on how branding and all those stuff works?
Okay, so what I would like to, if you ask as an advice to brand owners at this point of time, because the pandemic is peaking in many parts of the world and many brands are suffering. Yeah, so I keep on getting these calls from many brand owners saying, this is happening, and what do we do?
Mm-hmm.
So I understand, so this is the world over, everybody is facing it. So the key to ride this crisis wave is by being nimble, if I have to say. So we'll have to all rethink our marketing strategy to stay relevant during these times. Okay, let's recognize this as the new reality. Okay, and then chalk out our a kind of a navigation plan through it. The old plans that we had might not work right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, obviously,
so
you definitely need to go along with the flow. You cannot stick on to the same plan what you were doing like maybe 2-3 months back. Obviously, you need to keep changing according to the current trend.
Yes, the game plan has to change altogether. Okay. I would like to give like 3 mantras, if I have to say. Okay. The first thing is extend support. Extend support in the way that this is not the time to think that how can we sell more. Instead, think how can we help our consumers more in this crisis time, and definitely you will get those pain points which if you can fulfill, you can come up with, automatically your sales and things like that will happen. And that's why we have so many players maybe launching into sanitizers, disinfectants, and many such innovations are coming up.
Yeah, right.
The second one would be anticipate and adapt. Okay, so if you can anticipate the changes that are happening in the consumer's behavior, you will be able to adapt faster. And the third thing is, I would say, just spread some joy and positivity, because brands have a lot of influence, right? So there's a lot of gloom that is there world over. You need to add as a brand a tincture of positivity to their life, right? Tell them that it's not lost yet. Good things continue to happen around us, and we should celebrate all of these moments. And as a brand, then you will be remembered when the crisis is over.
Wow. Amazing. This was absolutely a mind-boggling episode, isn't it, guys? Like, I hope you all understood how important it is to build a brand reputation in the digital age. People tend to do businesses with companies they are familiar with. They do not, for example, they do not buy products which are unknown to them. They obviously purchase products which are known to them and they have trust on it. So if your branding is consistency and easy to recognize, it can help people feel more at ease purchasing your product or services. And that's where brand reputation plays a vital role here. Well, we have come to an end of today's episode. Thank you so much, Shashwat, for coming on the show. It was my pleasure and honor to have you here. This was really an amazing episode of what we have in the Marketing Manifest podcast. So thank you all for listening to this week's episode in the Marketing Manifest podcast. We will be coming back with another interesting episode. Until then, stay safe. And this is Emil Eji signing off. Peace out.